Okay. What's going on? LBHT Crew B. What is going on?
A lot of stupidity's going on, man. A
Happy
whole lot.
53-man roster. It was yesterday that the cutdown was. Happy 53 roster week. Yes, the teams are down. Thank you, son. Thank you. The teams are down to 53-man rosters. We're going to talk about it for the Ravens and the Panthers. That's going to be most of the show, man. We're about 7 days, 8 days, 8 days from the start of the regular season. So we're going to talk about our teams, get ramped up for the regular season, and then it's go time, guys. It's go time. Shout out to everybody who's in here. Baltimore Raven was in here early. He says, yo, hey, thanks for coming through, Baltimore Raven. Shout out to you. Suge Knight 323 says, make sure to hit that like button, everyone. Also, sharing the stream helps so much. Let's get the LBHT show out there for the people to hear. Indeed, man. Appreciate that. Sure. And since you mentioned that, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook. We back up on Facebook. We're back up. All right. Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Okay. That's where we're streaming live at. Also, you can catch us if you're an audio listener, any platform that you listen to your podcast on. iTunes, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, we are there. All right.
Yeah, and if you're listening on the audio podcast, make sure to leave a 5-star review. That really helps with discovery and getting the show out there as well.
Yes, indeed. And also, if you are looking for a super chat, there are 2 ways we do super chats here. The first is right below B, $ LBHT Show. That's the Cash App. Okay. And also the pin link that you see in the chat box that will take you to our stream elements. Both ways, you leave your donation, you leave your comment, you'll get a nice little animation right next to my face, and we'll read your comment as well. All right. Shout out to our guy, Hendo Ravens Online Ungatekeeper says LBHT is the best time of the week. Indeed. It is Wednesday. Okay. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well. And if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. All right, let's give a couple more shout outs and let's get into some Black History facts. Garnett is here early today. Okay, shout out to Garnett. You can also catch Garnett right after this show on Huddle It Up Films. All right, he does a live stream right after us. Shout out to who's he do the show with? Ashley and Jason.
From Huddle It Up Films. Yes.
Yeah, from Huddle It Up Films. Yes. So go check them out as well. Darius Simmons is in the house. Says, "What up, fellas? What's up with you, Darius?" D Weezy's in the house says, what up, crew? Yes, from Backyard Action Media. Also from Lunch Money Bets. You will see him later in the show. MJ's in the house. Said, what's good, y'all? Thanks for coming through. Tracy, what's good, Tracy? This is my people. Hey, shout out to you, Tracy. Thank you for coming through. Shout out to Andre Mears. Yolanda's in the house. Says, good evening, LBHT. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Dre, Davon is in the house. Davon's in the house. Says, yes, sir. Davon, I need you to give the hashtag, okay? Hashtag no 2 hours.
That's
okay? Right. There are some people in our Discord that were trying to push for a 2-hour show. Look, you can get 2 hours total if you sign up to patreon.com/LBHT show, because that's where we do an overtime show. So if you're looking for some extra, that happens right after the main show. Shout out to Danity. Danity's in the house too. Hey, y'all. What's going on with you? oh, Mikey's coughing on us. Oh, where's my mask? Shout out to OTR Mike. Yeah, he's there with the COVID, man. Everybody's saying Mikey their best wishes, man. Look, that's from working. That's from working all day, man. Been around too many people. All right, you need to just isolate yourself, and when you get better, isolate yourself even more. Except for Saturday, we're gonna need you to work on Saturday. All right. We got some fights coming up on Ring Kings podcast. We too hot right now. All right. Yes. So rest up, but not too much. NDT Sports is in the house. Is Lamar Jackson like Dolphins on Twitter? Steve better not mess this up. We'll talk about that. All right. What else we got here? Okay. I think C Dubster's in the house. Says, to the brothers with the best perspective on football. What up? Shout out to you, C Dubster. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Big Reg is in the house. All right. I think we got everybody out the way here. All right. It's basically 2 topics. Ravens, Panthers. All right. That's what we're talking about today. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact, and B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah, so just going to keep it real short this week. Wanted to kind of spotlight Willie Morrow, who passed away a couple of months ago on June 22nd. Willie was born in 1939 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And like everyone else from Tuscaloosa, he said, I got to get out of Tuscaloosa. He ended up moving out west to San Diego, which, if you don't know, has a lot of military families there. And he kind of settled in San Diego and decided, it's a big military city, and I'm not going to join the military. I'm going to provide, hair products and beauty products to the military people out there, the civilians out there. And he kind of he built himself up. He built up his business. And they say he was a stalwart in the Black community. He strongly believed in supporting Black businesses and that the economy should be driven by your own community. The reason I bring him up, though, is that he actually was the inventor of a couple of things that you all know, but you may not know where they came from. Willie Morrow invented the Afro pick, which was at the top of our mind this week just because of some other things that we got going on.
Indeed,
and also the inventor. I got to get the original name here. I'm sorry. I got to get the original name. It was where is it now?
Was it a hair? Is it a hair product?
No.
Hot curl.
Here it is. He pioneered the California curl, which you may know better as the Jerry curl.
Man, I wish I had some pictures of coming to America. The Soul Glow.
So yeah, he was honored in a museum in San Diego in 2016. They had an exhibit about him with over 250 pieces, just kind of highlighting his whole career and his life and all the work that he had done in the community in San Diego. But yeah, we just wanted to spotlight Willie Morrow, who passed away sadly on June 22nd.
All right, that was recent, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Garnett says favorite part of the show. Oh, appreciate that. Appreciate that. If you guys like these Black History facts, there's another podcast that I want you guys to subscribe to. One Mic History. All right.
Yes.
One Mic History podcast. He's on YouTube as well, so go check him out. We're gonna have to get him on a show to do some guest speaking for the Black History fact one of these days. Yes, Z the Beast is in the house. Says, what up, LBHT crew? How we feeling about Tyree? All right. Well, I mean, look, B got it up on the screen. I guess we'll get right into it. All right. The Ravens make their cut. There's a couple surprises. Nothing too shocking because there was, look, can we just be honest for a second?
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens have not done a good job drafting. Not under EDC. They just haven't done a good job. I know we like to give this man his flowers. I know we like to praise this organization because they find ways to stay consistent, right? Even though we admit that the years that they're not consistently good. I get it, right? That's what being a fan is about. But it hasn't gone well, right? The players that are holding this team up are not players that Eric DeCosta has drafted. Eric DeCosta has had about 30 some odd players.
Yeah,
this
maybe
is more including this year, right? So we're talking about close to like 40 players that he's drafted. It's not looking good. So Tyree Phillips was one of those people that was drafted in the third round. Round, and he was cut. That was a little surprising to me because I thought, he hadn't played great, but they used him all over the place, and he was one of those players where I felt like if they just sit him in one spot, left guard or right guard or whatever, and just let him learn that, he would be a solid, contributor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they overdrafted him. Even at the time. He was picked at the end of the third round, and a lot of people had him projected as a late day 3 pick. I don't think that he was really ever going to turn into it. It was a bit of a surprise that he got cut just because they don't have a lot of good guards. So kind of people just kind of expected him to be there along with Ben Powers and Ben Cleveland. But no, in terms of his ability and his play, it's not a surprise, and it's also not a surprise that nobody wanted to trade for him.
Yeah. And shout out to Sterling for coming through, man. Appreciate you coming through and living
What's up,
legend.
Sterling?
Yes, indeed. Yes. Yeah, Davon, drafting been sus. Yeah, constantly mid. Exactly. Big Red says EDC treats drafting like hunting, just another face to put in the future cut list.
Yeah. And you know, somebody
That's a good
had mentioned, I believe, on Twitter, you know, Ravens fans and media always talk about how great a job they do with drafting and scouting, and you know, that's part of the whole 23 wins in a row and in the preseason. It might even have been Big Reg. I'm not 100% sure, but it's like, why is it that, you know, they do such a great job, but nobody ever wants any of their players? Because, you know, you remember this past offseason, every free agent who left Baltimore got a 1-year deal. Now they just cut, what was it, 15 plus people. None of them were claimed on waivers. Now, a couple of them had been claimed previously, a couple wide receivers. I think that was more because the Giants had injuries than anything else. But nobody wants the players that are coming out of Baltimore.
Yeah. And shout out to King, who's in the house. Andrew Sakira he's making appearances late. Third, practically fourth. They messed up with Powers as well, but at least one is gone. Yeah. And shout out to Omar Tillman, who's in the house. Omar is a Panthers fan. We're gonna get to the Panthers later. We got a couple of thoughts on them as well. Yeah, third, late third. You can say practically fourth, but they covet fourth round picks just as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So third and fourth round is where they're supposed to that's where they're supposed to make their money with this team, right? That's supposed to be the rounds where they really stack up. And this is what they always get credit for at the end of the draft every year. But we keep seeing these third and fourth round picks get cut.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Let's take a look. I mean, basically all of EDC's first draft is
almost all of it.
They're not all gone. Ben Powers was from the first draft. He's still here. He's flirting with the starting position. Justice Hill he's battling Tyler Beatty. I know Tyler Beatty got cut, but he's back on the practice squad. So Justice Hill, you gotta look over your shoulder. But everybody else is gone. You traded away Hollywood. Miles Boykin got cut.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was Jalen Ferguson tragically passed away. He was in that draft. But who else? I mean, that was it. And then
Iman Marshall, Dalen Mack, Trace McSorley, he just got cut by the Cardinals. Hayden Hurst was the previous year, but that was it for that class.
And then the following year was Patrick Queen, who hasn't really lived up to expectations yet. I still have hopes for him, but he hasn't lived up to it yet. Malik Harrison, he's just not getting used. Hopefully he breaks out this year. I think
he's not good.
I think he is. I think he can play, man. But I told you, I said it on our audio podcast before we went on YouTube that I think he's a good player. He's just not going to work out in Baltimore because he's not going to get the opportunity.
And I told you on that same audio podcast, don't trust a Buckeye. He's going to be terrible.
Well, that's for personal reasons for you. That's not for personal reasons.
No, that was not. It's not for personal reasons. I'm very high on CJ Stroud. I just said that Malik Harrison was not going to be it.
B is a Miami Hurricanes fan, and he's never gotten over that loss to the Ohio State Buckeyes.
I'm over it. I'm just saying, if people are going to bring it up, I'm going to mention how they got screwed at the end of that game. That's just a fact. That's not an opinion. That's not something I can't get over. That's just pure facts. And you know what else is pure facts is that they put garbage players in the NFL. It's not my fault. All right.
Well, look, Z the Beast thinks Malik Harrison is an outside linebacker. Either way, I mean, he just hasn't gotten opportunities, right? People have been playing in front of him. Yes, I agree. Malik is a thumper. I agree. And we need somebody like that out there. Boy, do we need somebody out there like that.
Do they though? I don't think that they do. I mean, it's not that kind of league.
No, they do. Yeah. Look, I still feel like you need at least. I told you need at least one person like that doesn't care about getting the flag every now and then, but he's gonna go out there and set a tone. Right, just so they know you're not gonna just go out there and do whatever you want on the field. Like there's gonna be some.
You can get a tone setter in a guy who can actually play.
Yeah, I think he can play though. So I mean, we can disagree on that, but I think he can play. I mean, I don't think we'll come to a resolution on that. I mean, We'll see. We'll see if he actually gets some.
I think we have. I think that next season we're going to be sitting here doing the 53-man roster show, and we're going to be talking about how Malik Harrison got cut.
Well,
and it was
or maybe not, because apparently they value inside linebackers all of a sudden because they kept 5 of them. Right? They kept 5 inside linebackers. And I just want to. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take a victory lap right now. Right? I'm gonna do the "I told you so" thing. It's petty of me, but when I said that the Ravens don't value pass rushing, like it's not a priority for them. That's exactly what I said. I said pass rushing is not a priority for the Ravens. Oh, guys had some words online. People didn't like hearing that, but here we are with just three pass rushers on the team,
and really two,
right? Because one can't even play right now. And who are we bringing in? Right? Who knows? I can tell you who it's going to be. Nobody special. Right? It's going to be nobody special. It's going to be just a guy. Right? They don't care about that.
I was expecting a name. I was waiting for Justin Pierre-Paul, and you're like, nobody special. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's kind of the same.
Which also means what, B? What are we going to be doing if we don't have,
I believe they're going to be blitzing quite a bit.
Yeah, expect it. I know you guys were hyped about Owe. The whole way, the Owe talk has been kind of,
It's so funny because like there were people in here, over the last couple of weeks telling us, oh well, we're gonna be at you if James Prochet comes out here and plays well, and Tylan Wallace and Devin Duvernay. Y'all said the exact same nonsense last year about Owe. Where you at?
Listen. We don't have wild takes on here. We really don't. When we say stuff, it's not I know it's lunch break hot take, but they're really not hot takes. You just gotta take your emotion out of it as a fan sometimes. Prochet is not somebody that you want to go to battle for. You gotta let him prove it. Always the same way. Always has a lot of physical talent, and you're excited because he got drafted in the first round. I think he was overdrafted, but like you can be excited for him, but still want him to prove it. That's how I feel about Rashad Bateman. I tell you guys all the time. I feel good about Rashad Bateman. Right? I feel really good about Rashad Bateman. I feel really good about Tyler Linderbaum. I don't really think there's any worries with them, but they still got to go out there and prove it, right? I can't go out there and say Tyler Linderbaum is the best center in the league or going to be one of the best centers in the league. He has to show it. I can't say Rashad Bateman is going to be a top 10 wide receiver in the league. He has to go out there and show it. I might feel that way, right? But I'm not going to go out there and be like, he's better than Devontae Adams. He's Cooper Kupps. We don't need Cooper Kupp. We got Bateman, right? We can't do that. Let them go out there and prove it. SV Cam, what's going on, my friend? Says, why did Prochet even make the roster? I was hoping he wouldn't.
That's not nice, right?
Listen,
Kylie asking did Owe play bad? No, and we don't think that he played bad. But I don't know if you were here at the time or not. People were in here telling us he was a superstar, and that he was going to have double-digit sacks, and he was a game wrecker, and all this nonsense. He didn't play like that. He made a couple plays, and he ended up, I think it was like 5.5 sacks. He was not a superstar. He was not a generational player. He was not Julius Peppers, like Garnett said.
I object. Your Honor, I motion to have that stricken from the record. Hey, speaking of people that are saying double-digit sacks for Owe, this was one of them. OTR Mike, okay? Mr. 15 sacks. Yes, he says, question, where is Brandon Williams? Is he just not playing this year? Did we bring back Brandon Williams?
No,
I don't think we brought him back.
I'm going to be honest. I forgot that dude existed. I think he's retired.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so where is he?
I don't know. He's got to just be a free agent, right?
We'll have to do a Google search. Look, all right. So moving on to the rest of the roster, okay? Why did Prochet? SBK had a question. Why did Prochet? He's free agent. Yeah, because we're the only team that valued purely run stopping D tackles. Okay. It was just, and this was also last year that we needed Brandon Williams. Remember that? We need Brandon Williams. We can't let him go.
Mhm.
When we said Brandon Williams and Calais Campbell cost too much money, they're accounting for $30 million of your cap.
Yeah.
Right. Let them go. We can't let him go. Did you see what happened when Brandon Williams wasn't in the game? We got ran all over.
Right.
Yeah, well, put some points up.
So, all right, let's go through the roster here. We got
All right.
quarterback, obviously Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley. Got some, some question marks there. I mean, I think that Lamar's going to play, but obviously, you got the contract situation with him. Tyler Huntley remains a guy who looks like a good backup, but actually isn't. But that's fine. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I think he's a good backup.
He's not. You know why? Because good backups can win games.
He won one. He won one.
Yeah, he did win one, just barely over one of the worst teams in the league. Moving on. Now, running back, J.K. Dobbins, Mike Davis, Justice Hill, Pat Ricard, and newly acquired Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's a pretty uninspiring room, especially with J.K. Dobbins right now not 100%. Once J.K. Dobbins gets back to 100%, they're going to be fine at running back. Jamison Hensley shared a video of him kind of limping a little bit after he was doing a personal or one-on-one drill.
Yeah.
So I honestly think he shouldn't play week 1. They should just hold him out, let him get fully healthy. You don't want to do another Ronnie Stanley and have him, injure himself again and lose him for an extended period. Because once he comes back healthy, you're going to be fine. You're going to get Gus Edwards back in about week 5. So the running back room will be fine. It just looks a little mid right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of moving to wide receiver, Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, Demarcus Robinson, Tylan Wallace, not one of the undrafted superstars who a lot of people assured us were going to be game changers for Baltimore actually made the team. They were all cut. I think most of them came back to the practice squad.
But you're calling them mid? That's you giving them more credit than
no. Just overall is the room because Demarcus is a decent receiver. Rashad Bateman, we all think is going to be good, but yeah, not a lot to. Again, not very inspiring room there. And I don't like because the next group up here is tight end with Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Nick Boyle, Charlie Kohler, and Josh Oliver. They kept 5 tight ends. Some would say 6 if you count Pat Ricard, you throw him in that group. Yeah. And I saw a lot of people really upset about that. That they had 5 or 6 tight ends and they kept 5 wide receivers. And I don't really want to hear Baltimore Ravens fans being upset. The GM and the coach looked you dead in the face since the end of the season and said Duvernay and Prochet are going to battle it out for number 2. You had to know this was going to happen. That this is how it was going to go down.
I mean, how many ways can they tell you they don't care about wide receivers?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been telling you this. I mean, this really started after Flacco got his contract. They're just like, we're just not, we don't care about that. All right. We let Anquan go. We're not bringing back Torrey Smith, and just from then on, we're just going to piecemeal this core together forever.
I think more accurately, it would be after John Harbaugh got his ring, and you can't tell me nothing.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, I agree. But Andre says should have cut Oliver. Danny says so embarrassing. I agree. I thought Oliver was good as gone as soon as
he's another one. I did not realize he was still there. I thought they had already gotten rid of him.
Yeah. I saw him in that last game. I was like, oh, okay, you're still here.
Yeah, good for him.
Good for you. You got to catch, right?
I hope you catch on somewhere, and he caught on in Baltimore.
I thought Bridges was supposed to be the man.
Bridges. We do wish him a speedy recovery. He's having surgery. He's injured, so hopefully he'll get back to 100% really quickly. And
he also said, I thought Williams was supposed to be the man. If you don't know which Williams, Devon Williams, okay, Mr. Big Body, 4'9", 40, okay, out of Oregon. He's going to be special, right? Mm-hmm. He got out early.
Yeah,
they cut him early in the game.
They cut him real quick. Yeah. So moving on to the offensive line, Ronnie Stanley, Ben Powers, Tyler Linderbaum, Kevin Zeitler, Morgan Moses, Patrick McCarry, Jawan James, Daniel Falalele, Ben Cleveland, and Tristan Colon. As we mentioned, they just cut Tyree Phillips. It's, again, a kind of a mixed bag group. I think, if they're fully healthy, they have a good O-line.
Yes.
But Ronnie Stanley was cleared several days ago, and Ronnie Stanley has not practiced yet because Ronnie Stanley is not ready to play.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. They say he's doing individual drills. Fine. Um, don't need to rush him back.
No.
Just wait. Make sure he's 100%. And if he comes back 100%, I never felt like Ryan Stanley had an injury that's going to be career altering. The
Mhm.
only thing that derailed it so far was just mismanagement by the coaching staff,
Yeah.
right? But you bring him along slowly, he'll be healthy and he'll be back at all pro level. So I don't feel nervous about that as long as they make sure
As
he's
long as
healthy
they
when he comes back.
handle it the right way, but they have a history of not handling things the right way.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so moving on to the defense now. The defensive line: Calais Campbell, Michael Pierce, Justin Madubuike, Travis Jones, Broderick Washington. I think that's a pretty good group, especially if Travis Jones can translate his preseason into the regular season.
I agree.
Still very disappointed in what we've seen from Justin Madubuike so far, but he's got at least another year to kind of turn things around.
Another
But
third round pick.
yeah, but it's a pretty solid group there. Outside linebackers, we already mentioned Owe, Justin Houston, and David Ajabo, who is hurt and is going to go on to the at least short-term IR. So they're going to be adding to that room for sure. We'll see who they bring in. They just restructured Ronnie Stanley's deal to open up about, I believe it was $7 million in cap. So they've opened up around $13 million over the last week or two. So presumably there'll be some moves coming here. Inside linebacker: Patrick Queen, Josh Bynes, Malik Harrison, Josh Ross, Christian Welch, and today, because it is actually 6 now. Today they added Del'Shawn Phillips off of waivers from the Jets. Just a special teams guy, but still. That is a whole lot of, oh my god, what happened in that group right here.
So somebody put out an article. I can't remember who it was. I saw people were retweeting it about how the Ravens, their strategy for staying competitive is not paying the premium positions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paying the non-premium positions, and that keeps them from having to compete in the market for these guys and overspend and all this nonsense. It was nonsense, right? Because even if you feel like, hey, we're going to pay the non-premium positions and get more bang for our buck, like, okay, you can argue for Mark Andrews. Cool, got Mark Andrews at tight end, right? And I was going to say get another one, but Isaiah Likely is looking good, so everybody's gonna say, hey, we got Isaiah Likely. Okay, cool. What about running back, man? Right? Like okay, Dobbins. I like Dobbins. I ain't saying get rid of Dobbins. You ain't trying to trade for Christian McCaffrey. You're not going to try to trade for Saquon. You're not going to try to trade for these guys that obviously, like, and I know people are going to say about the injuries, but you've seen them when they're not hurt, and there ain't nobody on our team that can do that.
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing we always say about Baltimore. You want to be defense and running, but you're not putting together a dominant run game, like in terms of getting the talent at running back, and you're not doing that on defense. You're not going after the top players on defense either. And the thing about non-premium positions is they're non-premium for a reason, right? They don't make the same kind of impact that the premium positions do.
So speaking on that, right? We talked about this offline. I mentioned on Coach's show Monday. Today's Wednesday. Yes, Monday. Safeties, right? We spent $70 million on Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams is a good safety. We drafted one of the top prospects in Kyle Hamilton, another safety, number 14. That's too high, right? You look at the top 10 safeties. Me and B looked at the top 10 safeties. Whoever you think the top 10 safeties are, there's only one of them that's been drafted in the first round, right?
Yeah. That's Derwin James.
Derwin James. The rest of them, I think we found like one or two more that are drafted in the second round, B.
Yeah.
The rest of them are late round picks. And it just goes to show you that that's just not a position that teams really value like that anymore. And we're spending a high draft pick. We were in a position we could have gotten an edge rusher. We could have tried to trade up to get an edge rusher. We could have been aggressive to get somebody there. And they're like, nah, we'll go safety.
Yeah, they could have gotten a tackle there. They could have gotten a wide receiver there. They said, let's take that position that nobody wants to draft this high and nobody wants to pay.
Yeah. All right, let's read a couple of these comments here because the chat is fired up. And shout out to anybody that's new in here. There's 59 people in here. Hit that like button, and if you are new, hit that subscribe button. If you are looking for the super chat, there are two ways we do super chat here. Okay, stop looking for that dollar sign next to the chat button there. Okay, it's not there. All right, it's right next to B. Okay, $ LBHT Show. Okay, that's where you want to go. That's the Cash App. All right. Also, that pin link that you see in the comment, instead of looking down, look up. Okay, that link will take you to our stream elements. Both ways, you can leave your donation, leave a comment, and you'll get a nice, cool animation right next to this logo right here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Right on time. Shout out to Anonymous says the 53-man roster says, what about Harbaugh? Thank you for a donation.
What it says about Harbaugh is that he is still stuck in the past and has no intention of playing in the modern NFL, and that the Ravens as an organization need to move on from him. But the problem is, as Sarah Ellison had pointed out on Twitter, the GM and the owner are on board with that approach as well. So
yeah. So that is sad. All right, let's read a couple of comments here. Zeta B says trade for Hargreaves from Philly. Hey, don't be surprised if they try. Well, Philly's stacking up. They're not getting away good players. They're stacking up. Philly's doing exactly what you're supposed to do when you have your quarterback on a rookie contract. Mm-hmm. Okay, the opposite of what we've been doing. Let's see here. Big Red says we also got 4 tight ends and 2 fullbacks. Yes, Nick Ball is a fullback to me.
Before you read any more, I do want to just finish up really quickly. This is obviously the strongest part of the roster and probably the best collective unit in the NFL.
All right, hold on. Let me give a shout out to Hendo real quick. Shout out to Hendo for $10 donation. Says you leave Kyle Hamilton Queen alone. Wow.
At corner, the Ravens have Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Kyle Fuller, Brandon Stevens, Jalen Armour Davis, and Demarion Williams, also known as Pepe. A really strong group. I mean, Brandon Stevens has had his struggles. Kyle Fuller has had his struggles, but it's a very strong group overall. At safety, Marcus Williams, Chuck Clark, Kyle Hamilton, Geno Stone. Again, probably the best safety room in the NFL. They should have the best secondary in the league, no question, this year.
So this is where they're really putting their money, right, into the secondary.
Yeah.
And I can halfway understand it because it's a passing league, right? You want to have a strong secondary to slow down the offense. You can't shut down offenses in today's NFL. Every now and then you'll hold a bad team or whatever, or even a good team might have a bad day. Yeah. But all things being equal, they're going to get points up. But you want to have a strong secondary so you can slow that down, right? And we have a strong secondary.
Yes.
But that's about the only thing they've actually built up on this team, right?
Yeah, they didn't take care of the opposite side of that, which is you need a strong wide receiver room as well so you can score points.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, that's the position that I'm least worried about is a secondary.
And also, I guess I should mention these guys as well. They're part of the team. The specialists, long snapper Nick Moore, punter rookie Jordan Stout, and kicker, obviously, the GOAT Justin Tucker.
Yeah. The Wolfpack, right? The new Wolfpack. So Kylie Mamuviz says, I remember some Ravens fans are new, so they get hyped about everyone I knew when the receivers who made the team, I did know for sure this season we're going to struggle. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's going to be worse than a lot of Ravens fans think. I mean, in the regular season, they'll be fine, right? Like, they'll be able to win their games. They can lean on Lamar. They can lean on the run game. They can win enough games to get them to the playoffs. In the playoffs, it's going to be really rough. Trying to move the ball with those receivers, I think.
Yeah. MJ said, like Engraven said, this current roster isn't the official 53-man roster. And shout out to Engraven. No, it's not the official 53-man roster, but it ain't gonna get much better.
But it's real close, man. Like that's how that reminds me of all the Madden fans when videos of the new Madden come out. They're like, that's an old build. That's an old build. When the new one comes out, it's going to be great, and it's the exact same build. There's going to be some changes, but they're not going to be drastic changes.
Yeah. Big Reg making a good point here. He says it's okay. Our left tackle hasn't played in 2 years, but we get a replacement who hasn't played in 2 years.
In 3.
Yeah, and Ravens Online on Gatekeeper has to remind Reg he's actually a right tackle.
Yes.
Talking about Juwan James.
Right.
All right. He's learning how to play left tackle.
I mean,
right now.
Morgan has played some left tackle. So maybe throw him over there.
I mean, we just went through this last year with Alejandro Villanueva. That's what's so crazy. All right. I mean, so look, what the Ravens are doing right now, or what they've been doing, is not a good way to manage the team. Right. They'll keep telling people, hey, you know, or people keep defending them, saying that, oh, well, you know, they're not gonna, you know, overpay for a position. You know, they're not gonna, you know, get into a bidding war with other teams. Like, that's a badge of honor. That's not a good thing. Right. You're just losing. You're just getting a worse player. If you're not going to really go after Bobby Wagner, right? Because I know everybody says we offer the most money. Well, it wasn't enough more. You know what I'm saying? They offered $500,000 more than what the Rams did. That's essentially the same thing when you're talking about millions of dollars. So offer him more money, right? Hey, these deals are kind of similar. It's a strong offer, but I'm gonna go with the Rams. Well, hold on a second, Bobby. What if we gave you $19 million?
Right, because it's not a I have a number and the first to hit it wins, or whoever offers the most wins. He probably got different numbers for different teams. He's more comfortable being in LA. He said he wanted to stay on the West Coast, right? That's a team who just won the Super Bowl, right? They've got other elite players on defense, like, you know, top of the league type players like Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. And at the time, well, no, Vaughn was already gone. But, you know, they like I said, they're a playoff team. They won the Super Bowl. He's on the West Coast. He's comfortable there. And to come to Baltimore, you probably have to pay a lot more than what the Rams have to pay.
Yeah.
And you're never willing to.
Yeah, despite what you think, the Ravens and the Rams aren't on the same level in a lot of people's minds, right? You can say, we
level in reality.
Well, yeah. No. I mean, that's a fact. I know when Lamar is healthy, we look like we're unstoppable in the regular season, but you see what happens when we get to the playoffs. Yeah. And obviously coming off a Super Bowl win, they're going to be a lot more attractive than anybody else. So you have to spend more money. So they weren't really trying to get Bobby Wagner.
Right. Because even without the Super Bowl win, they've been more successful than Baltimore recently.
Yes.
That was the second time they've been to the Super Bowl with Sean McVay. You know, they also had a trip to the conference championship. You know, the Ravens have not. You know, the Ravens have gotten to the playoffs. They've won one playoff game. They've got Lamar Jackson, but they've also got an offensive coordinator and a head coach who are stuck in the past, who offensive players just don't want to play for, right?
Yeah.
So you got people holding back the talent that you do have in Baltimore. So it's going to be harder, to attract those free agents. You're going to have to pay more, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
Not for Bobby Wagner. I did not agree with that at all, but for other players.
But, if you decide, hey, we just want to get more aggressive there, right? He's one of the best linebackers in the league still. Mm-hmm. And that's the way you're going to go. Then you have to follow through on it. What they should have been doing was trading for Khalil Mack when he was available.
Yes.
He went for nothing. So what are we talking about, right? We're not talking about giving up draft picks. It didn't cost a whole lot. You're talking about you didn't want to pay somebody of his caliber what he's worth. That's all it came down to. You want to be cheap. You want to go for all the way on a rookie contract. You want to bring veteran Justin Houston and pretend that that's good enough, right? And when Ojabo comes back at some point, he'll contribute. All signs are pointing towards we're still going to blitz. That's what that points to, because you're not going into the season thinking, hey, when all of our guys are healthy, including Ojabo. I mean, look, I like Tyus Bowser. He did fine, right? Mm-hmm. Owe did fine for a rookie, but you're not looking at those guys and thinking, man, you better ice up. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking that. They just don't care about that. And shout out to Anonymous for a $25 donation. Says, should Mr. Jackson be looking for a new team ASAP? Okay.
Looks like he found his new team already.
It looks like it. We're going to tease that. We're going to tease that, Anonymous. We're going to we still have Panthers to talk about. We have a hashtag Spicy Baker story, and we have Lamar Jackson clock is ticking story coming up. All right. So excellent question. But right now, I know you guys had a lot of comments. We're not done talking about this, but right now it is time for you gambling degenerates to get your pen and paper ready because D Weezy is here for the hot bets. Mr. D Weezy, what is going on, my friend?
So
What is
Derek,
going on, folks?
And for those of you who don't know, D Weezy is a Panthers fan. Okay, he's a Panthers fan. So we talk a lot of Panthers and Ravens on this channel. D Weezy is also a Panthers fan as well. Um, but go ahead. Let's what we got going on today. D Weezy it's been hot lately. Okay, so you gotta make sure you are subscribed to Backyard Action Media on his channel and get in on these winning bets. What you got, D Weezy?
Yeah, this week I'm gonna be coming in with a couple more baseball bets. I'm gonna be touching on one that's a little bit different than you've heard me talk about in the past. Um, it's a game prop that you can find in most baseball games, but no runs in the first inning of the New York Yankees, Los Angeles Angels, paired with the New York money line to win outright. Um, you're looking at plus 143 when it's all said and done. I'm be riding with that. I think the Yankees win this game outright. I do think things might get off to a slow start. That being said, no run in the first inning. Yankees win plus 143. And y'all have heard me talk about finding value before, and that's really what you want to see. If you're playing all favorites, it can become difficult to keep up if a couple of those favorites lose. You get that plus money, you got a better chance at the odds staying in your favor, even if you only end up 500 or a game or two under 500. My next play for tonight, I'm be going to the Phillies game versus the Dime. I believe they're taking on the Diamondbacks. Yes, I don't know why. Every week, for what the past month, we've had a Diamondbacks involved play. They've all come in, if I'm not mistaken. We would be going with the Philadelphia Phillies over 4.5 runs in their game. I think offensively they can cover this number. As far as winning, that's another question. We've seen them sort of implode the past couple of nights, but that low total, they do have the offense to cover that.
All right. And we got Raven Ron in the chat says took a L last night, but tonight I bounced back. Degenerate Ron's bets. Padres money line, O's Cleveland under 7.5, and Atlanta run line. Ohio State. Oh, okay. We got a little college football now. Ohio State minus 17.5 over Notre Dame. D Weezy, your thoughts.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Padres game wrapped up and the money line came through. But as far as the O's game, I'm riding with that same play for those that caught my video early today. Um, Backyard Action Media. First play up was Orioles Guardians under. I was able to get it at 8. You see that number come down slightly. So yeah, I definitely like that play right there. The Atlanta run line. I definitely think there's a chance they can blow out the Colorado Rockies. They are heating up. They're definitely one of the hotter teams in baseball right now, in my opinion. And the Colorado Rockies are a struggling team, and it's really that simple. So I have no problem fading the Rockies there. As far as the college game, I don't get much into college just simply because the massive amount of turnover we see as far as rosters and players, and that's something that takes a real dedication. But I could see riding with Ohio State and covering that spread. There's a lot of questions about what's going on in Notre Dame, and you know, Ohio State's been known to come in and have the ability to blow out people if you can't keep up with them offensively.
All right. Thank you. And Raven Ron has an important message for you guys. Reminder, fellas and ladies, Raven Ron. There are some ladies in here. Okay. Reminder, everyone, bet with your disposable income on bets, not your car note. Okay. All right. Don't bet your car note. Disposable income. And that's after you take out your 3 to $10 or $20 for the patreon.com/LBHT show. All right. Set that to the side as well. Hey, look who's here. It's our friend Jason Ridley. What's going on?
What's up, Jason?
Shout out to you. All right. Okay. Real quick, D Weezy, because you're a Panthers fan. I want you to give me one opinion of the 53-man roster. Just one surprise cut or just a thought on a cut. Just one. Just give him one.
I think it was surprising that we saw Tay Hayes get cut, but I do understand, there's little room to go around in that defensive backfield. And I mean, it's that simple. Now, I was a bit surprised to see him keep 7 wide receivers, though. I mean, it wasn't the most shocking thing, but I think there could have possibly been some other roster moves made that didn't happen.
All right. That was actually 2 things, but that's okay. We'll take it. All right. Everybody, Backyard Action Media is where you can find him. Okay. Go over there and subscribe. He's hot, man. He's hot right now. Now, go. Okay. I'll let you plug your stuff, but I'm going to put a little pressure on D Weezy right now. Okay. Because we didn't discuss this yet. We did discuss it, but he hasn't committed to it, but I'm going to put it on you right now. If you have questions about sports betting, if you're new to this and you don't quite understand everything like I don't, right? D Weezy is going to put out a series of videos teaching you the basics of sports betting. Isn't that yes, D Weezy, right? Yes, he's smiling.
Yes.
He's slowly nodding. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
See?
Yes. So if you need to know, if you need to learn, you have to subscribe to him. Nobody's going to teach you. It's going to teach you the game like D Weezy. All right. So it's important you go over there and hit that subscribe button. And also patreon.com/Bam News. Okay. That's where you can go there and support him. All right. I stole your shine a little bit. If there's anything you want to add, D Weezy, go ahead and go ahead and do that. And we'll get to some Panthers talk.
Yes, you can find me at Backyard Action Media, where just yesterday I had a 3-0 sweep on the day. I'm putting out videos basically daily. You can leave comments, you can get at me, you can sign up at the Patreon, Bam News, get even more direct access. Like the fellas tell you, I'm constantly putting out content. I got a lot of things in the works, and I've delivered on that in the past. Those that have been around, D Weezy been around a little while, next week might be a little something special. Just putting that out there, I'm curious if anybody might be able to figure that out. So I'll let y'all, let that sit and simmer for a week.
Okay. All right. There it is. All right. D Weezy, you can also find him in our Discord. He's got his own channel, Lunch Money Bets. And he also hangs out with us on the Overtime Show, which happens right after this show. So D Weezy, thank you very much. And we will see you soon, my friend.
Everybody take care out there.
All right. Yes. Oh, okay. And right on time, Sterling said he about to head out. Thanks for coming through, Sterling. Appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, Sterling.
Okay. Look, right here. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Okay. Where you set aside some money, right? Before you go and gamble it all away. Okay. We have 3 tiers, okay, to suit your needs. All right. And B's going to tell you about those tiers right now.
Yes, we have the $3 tier, which will get you access to our NFL Pick'em League that we just started up. We give away a custom LBHT trophy for the winner of that league every year. We have the $10 tier, which will get you into our fantasy football league. We've got a dynasty league going on. We are also going to start up a redraft league. If there's enough interest, you can go ahead and sign up, and we'll get that going as well. The $10 tier also allows you to request specific content, like videos or articles on any sports topic that you might want. We also have a $20 tier, which is a combined tier for this show and our other podcast that we do with OTR Mike, Ring Kings. And you get everything that I just mentioned, along with the LBHT crew coin for the $10 tier that I keep forgetting to say. And also the custom poker set that we produced featuring our top 25 boxers of all time. And all the tiers get you entrance into the Overtime Show that we do every week after this show, as well as the Discord channel.
All right. Yes, indeed. And you see right on the bottom there, that's where you can get our merch. LBHTShow.com/shop. Let me take this banner down and I'm going to show you, give you a nice little graphic there. Yes, look at that. Do you like what you see right there? Do you like what B's wearing? Well, I regret to inform you, some of this stuff, a lot of stuff ain't gonna be here. So, if you like this shirt, if you like the shirt, if you want an LBHT crew shirt, if you want some of these other things that you see on the site, I see you guys checking it out. Go ahead, grab some of it. Some of it's gonna be it's gonna be retro. Look, some of the stuff's gonna be there. It's gonna be different. Okay, we're retooling a little bit, doing a little bit of redesign. We have a lot going on in the background. Also, if you're watching on your phone, maybe on your computer too, it might be there. But just look down and you'll see some cool hoodies, shirts, mugs, right? That is our latest design. If you're a Ravens fan, for the Ravens City Edition products, okay, merchandise. It's actually been selling well. Those black t-shirts been selling. Y'all like those, okay? So check that out and go ahead and get that and support the show. Also, we mentioned our sick friend OTR Mike. Okay, he's 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast. All right. We need you to go over there. There's nothing that heals the soul more than hitting that subscribe button. So go ahead and go over to Ring Kings podcast, hit that subscribe button, and give OTR Mike the energy he needs to live stream with us this Saturday. Okay, because I don't want to be ringing his phone at 12:30 a.m. because the fight ended and we need him to jump on the stream. But I'll do it. Okay, so what we got? We got Panthers.
Yes. The Panthers 53-man roster. Weren't a whole lot of surprises here. We'll go through some of these positions really quickly. At quarterback, PJ Walker found a way. It's like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Nature finds a way. But Baker Mayfield and PJ Walker are going to be the quarterback. Sam Darnold is going to be moved to, or I think he was just moved to IR. And Darnold will be back, and then Walker will get cut presumably. But right now it's Baker Mayfield and PJ Walker. At running back, we've got Christian McCaffrey, Deonta Foreman, and Chuba Hubbard. There had been some speculation or some rumor that Hubbard might get cut, but I think that's the correct decision, keeping those three together.
I agree.
Tight end, they kept 4 tight ends, so we're not much better than Baltimore. Ian Thomas, Tommy Tremble, Giovanni Ricci, and Steven Sullivan. A couple of those guys are there specifically because they can block. The other two, I'm not sure why they're there, because they're not good receivers. But hopefully we'll see some development from one Tommy Tremble. You don't trust Davon's fighting Irish either, but we've got to. They picked him, so we got to. At wide receiver, they kept 7 wide receivers.
Omar Tillman is not feeling this team. He didn't even wait for us to finish. He was like 7-10. He said, guys, we're going to talk about the Panthers. As soon as we say Panthers, 7-10. He said 7-10. Chuba stinks.
Chuba's okay.
Richie's a fullback.
Right. He's listed as a tight end, but yes, he is. But he's listed at tight end. All right. So at wide receiver, we got DJ Moore, obvious stud. One of the top receivers in the league.
Yes.
Rock solid. Every year, you're getting that 1,104 touchdowns. Hopefully, you can bump up those touchdowns this year. But he's giving you those yards every year. Robbie Anderson, kind of the opposite of that. He's he's kind of like the Panthers version of J.R. Smith a little bit, right? Like, maybe he shows up and gives you 1,000 yards. Maybe he shows up and gives you 400. Who knows? Robbie doesn't know. You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. They kept Terrace Marshall. There was a lot of talk about him getting cut. Teams were calling to trade for him. Teams are also calling about Robbie Anderson. They're apparently listening to offers, but neither one has been moved yet. Shai Smith made the roster. He had a great summer. Really performed in the preseason games, so they really forgot about those drug and weapon charges.
We're actually worried that he might get cut when they brought in Laviska Shenault, but
I was saving that particular turd for the end, but okay, you went ahead and spoiled that. But no, I thought Shai might get cut because of the illegalities. But no, he made it. Yeah. Rashard Higgins, a nice solid depth option there. He's played with Baker before, obviously in Cleveland. Pretty, he's a decent receiver. Nice guy to have on the roster. Andre Roberts, great return man. That's why he's there. That's why it's up to 7, because they weren't going to cut Andre Roberts. He's one of the best returners in the league. And then there is Laviska Shenault, who they just traded for.
All right, you already called him a turd, so you already poisoned the minds of Ravens fans. but Ravens fans, I want. What are your thoughts on Laviska Shenault? If you don't know who he is, he was a former. He wasn't a first round pick, was he?
He was a
third.
No, I can't even remember now.
Second or third.
I want to say second.
Yeah, wide receiver. He played for the Jaguars. He came from Colorado, I believe.
Yeah.
He is somebody that I actually wanted us to get in the draft because I thought he fit our style. He was advertised as kind of that Deebo Samuel type of wide receiver. Where you can kind of run him out the backfield. You can throw screens and he was a runner, right? Now there's been a lot of slander on this man from a lot of people, and even nice guy Josh Norris. I've never seen Josh Norris this mean about somebody.
He said he was legit the worst receiver in the league last year.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. I will tell you why in just a moment. Let me finish.
All right. Andre Mir says, I think Higgins will be a solid for Baker. No, well, what do you think about Laviska? Tell me what you think about Laviska Shenault. Ravens Online on Gatekeeper says, not good. Shout out to Omar. Appreciate the donation. $10 donation says, great show. Man,
thank you, Omar.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But no. I mean, Andre, look, I know that Rashad can play a bit. I like Rashad being on the team. I hope he's not solid for Baker. I hope he's not out there very much. Like he's like the 4th or 5th receiver. I hope we don't see him. I hope these other guys step up. But Laviska, yeah, he's kind of that Deebo type of player, except without the athleticism. He's very slow. He can't change directions. He is strong. I will give him that. He's very strong. So if you do manage to get the ball in his hands somehow, maybe he can break tackles. It better not be in the backfield because he's not going anywhere in the backfield. But if you can manufacture some touches for him, maybe he can break a tackle here or there. I just don't see the value. I don't know why they keep trading for other people's busts, in particular the Jets and the Jaguars. It doesn't make sense to me.
I'm going to start calling you Bad Vibes Brodny, okay? Bad Vibes Brodny over here. Look, Mikey says Swiss Army knife guy. That's more like it, Mikey.
No, yes. Man, Swiss Army knives are useful.
This is what I'm talking about, Marcus McClendon. He says Laviska will definitely be better for Carolina than he was for Jacksonville. I agree. Just have to find creative ways to get him the rock. I agree with everything you said.
Who's Marcus. Creative in Carolina? And why would you be creative?
Ben McAdoo.
Why would you be creative for Laviska Shenault and not any of the other receivers on the team?
I think
and not Christian McCaffrey. Why would you be creative for a guy who can't run, a guy who can't get open, a guy who can't catch? Why are we using our creativity there? Why don't we use it on Terrace Marshall?
There's one thing that you haven't said,
and DJ Moore,
that Ravens fans could absolutely relate with. There's one thing that he could probably do. You said he's strong.
Lord.
He can block.
God damn.
He can block. Yes. Blocking wide receiver. Hey, Hines Ward made the Hall of Fame because he was a great blocking wide receiver.
No, he made it because he plays for Pittsburgh. He didn't deserve it. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to. Don't even stop typing, Shug. We're gonna move on from there. The offensive line: Ekwonu, Brady Christensen, Pat Elflein, Austin Corbett, Taylor Moton, Bradley Bozeman, Cameron Irving, Michael Jordan, Cade Mays. So the thing about this group is the starting 5 looks really good. Ekwonu, Christensen, assuming it's going to be Bozeman. Jeez, it better be Bozeman. Yeah. Corbett and Taylor Moton. That's it. That's a really solid group. I'm a bit worried about the depth. Cade Mays has looked, he's looked fine in preseason, but Cameron Irving is awful. Michael Jordan is not very good. So any kind of injury to the offensive line, and Carolina is going to be in trouble. But considering they're rebuilding the whole line, this is a very good starting point. They're going to be, building that depth from here on. But this is a really nice start, I think. For the first time in a very long time, the quarterback in Carolina might be protected.
Yeah. And it's going to be for Baker.
I know. It's always for the wrong ones.
But yeah, I had nothing bad to say. Like the O-line across the board, it looks solid, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so kudos to them on that. I was a little worried about that when they hired Fitterer because Seattle, that was one thing they absolutely refused to do, was put an offensive line around Russell Wilson. But I'm happy with the results here. So moving on to the defensive line, Brian Burns, Gross Matos, Marquise Haynes, Amari Barno, Derek Brown, Matt Ioannidis, Bravion Roy, Davion Nixon, Phil Hoskins, and undrafted free agent Marquand McCall.
How do you feel? How do you feel about this group overall? I feel a little.
It's a mixed bag. Brian Burns is obviously a bright spot. I like Marquise Haynes. He's not particularly good. Gross Matos, everybody's kind of waiting on him to turn into the guy they hoped he could be. Hasn't happened yet. So we'll see on that. It's a like I was saying about Baltimore, it's an uninspiring group outside of Brian Burns. Even Derek Brown, who should not have been taken as high as he was. He kind of is exactly what you thought he would be. Never got better, never turned into much more than he was when he first came in the league. And it's just it's uninspiring, like I said.
Yeah. Oh, quick shout out to Just Allo. He says, "Hello, everyone. I was celebrating my great aunt's 90th birthday. Wow. Happy birthday to your great aunt. It's a great time. I ended up going home and she's at the casino."
Yes.
Well, happy birthday to your great aunt. That's what I'm
happy
talking
birthday.
about. Yes.
Happy birthday. And we've got, hold up. There we go.
Okay, we got another donation. Shout out to Anonymous for a $25 tip. I appreciate you guys. It says, how soon will the Panthers re-sign Mr. Newton? Yes, excellent question. Excellent question, because you think they're just going to sit there with PJ Walker.
Yes.
Okay. Look. Here's my prediction. Baker Mayfield's going to start the season hot, and we're going to get to what he said or allegedly said in a minute, right? Don't worry about the Browns game. He's going to obliterate the Browns. Okay. So that's happening. He's going to go on a 3, maybe 4-game win streak. If he goes on a 4-game win streak,
that's not happening.
Boy, Progressive going to cash in, right? But then he's going to cool off, and then he's going to come back down to earth, and then you're going to go on like a 3 or 4-game losing streak, right? And he's not going to look good. And that's when you're going to start getting that power struggle between Ben McAdoo and Matt Rule, because Ben McAdoo is trying to get back in the NFL. Matt Rule on his way out of the NFL, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be, hey, look, I can't do it with Baker, right? Nobody's going to want to go to PJ Walker if they have to pull the plug on Baker.
I know one person who wants to go to PJ Walker, and his name is Matt Rule.
Matt Rule, but look, your voice gets lower in the room when you're losing, right? And you're running things. So I don't think Matt Rule's going to make it through the season. I think he's going to be fired. I think it'll be later, maybe around week 10 or 11. And when that happens, Cam Newton is absolutely coming in.
Cam Newton's not coming in. Cam Newton is not going back to Carolina. They screwed him twice. He's not going back there.
I mean, I don't know how he felt about this last time he was there. Like,
I bet he felt like he got screwed, because that's what happened.
Look, man, he's not getting any other calls.
That's fine. Like, he had a great career. He made a lot of money, and he's probably already, mentally moved on. I mean, go back to Carolina for what? To
save the fans just one last time, okay?
But they're not going to keep him around long term. There's no chance of that. So he's not going to come in there and be like, hey, yeah, I'll sell you some tickets for a few weeks at the end of the season so you can kick me to the curb again.
What if he said, look, you come in and finish the season, like I'm gonna give you a guaranteed 2-year deal, right? 2 years, 70 million or something like that, right? Okay, maybe that's a little high, but okay, 2 years, 60 million, fully guaranteed.
No chance.
And that way you can, yes, we are looking for a young quarterback. This is what they should have done last year. Yes, we are looking for a young quarterback, but whoever we get, we're not trying to rush him right out there. We want you to usher in that new era, right? Like we want you to kind of bridge that gap.
They've already shown that they don't want that.
Yeah.
They showed they don't want that. They don't want him. They don't want him around. They showed that when they cut him initially, and then they showed that when they got desperate and brought him back and cut him again. He's not going back to Carolina.
Okay, look, I made my prediction. Okay, I'm sticking to it. But let's get back to Marcus McClendon agreeing with me about Laviska Shenault. He said Laviska averaged 600 yards a season in Jacksonville. If he can offer that for Carolina while teams focus on DJ McCaffrey, Anderson, that'll be a major win for y'all.
It's about how he got those 600 yards though, and it's not great. You're talking about a guy who has to have stuff manufactured for him. He can't get open. I mean, you watch clips of him trying to beat corners. They were laughing at him.
Listen,
he's too slow.
Listen,
he can't change direction.
I know,
not going to get open.
All I know is you can find bad tape on anybody. Okay,
I
don't know what.
Yeah, I bet you can find that much bad tape on anybody. To get that 600 yards last year, they had to give him 100 targets.
Here's what I do know. I've never heard Josh Norris speak this ill about anybody, even bad players. There's clearly something personal going on between him and Laviska Shenault.
No. Okay? It was just somebody on Twitter arguing with him and telling him he didn't know what he was talking about and to watch the tape. And so he was like, he's garbage. Not as a person, obviously. We always like to make that clear. Not a garbage person. I'm sure he's a very good person. But in terms of being a wide receiver, Josh was like, he's not it. And no, he's not going to get 600 yards. And if they are targeting Laviska Shenault 100 times this year, things have gone so far off the rails that it doesn't matter who gets what at that point. Christian McCaffrey's not playing anymore. He's hurt. Baker's out somewhere. It's PJ Walker running that XFL offense, just forcing the ball to Laviska. It doesn't matter. If he gets 100 targets, they have 1 to 2 wins.
All right. Look, put it down. Me and Marcus. Okay, we're going in. We're buying on Laviska Shenault. All right. Did we go through the whole roster?
No. We got again the strength of Carolina. I think arguably their strongest unit, like Baltimore. J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson, C.J. Henderson, Keith Taylor, Stanley Thomas Oliver. Ooh, man, congrats to that guy for sticking around because I thought he was gone for sure.
Yeah.
Those are the corners. And at safety, Jeremy Chin, Xavier Woods, Miles Hartfield, and I think actually I think he may be gone already. No, it was Justin Burris, Sam Franklin Jr. and Sean Chandler. So I think it's not the best group in the league, but a very strong young group that's going to grow together and be very effective. I think one of the big problems for Carolina this year and why I don't think they're going to win a lot of games is because they have a lot of talent all over, but they're all young. And it's difficult for very young teams to win, especially when you have a moron coaching you. No offense, Matt, but it's just I don't see it all gelling together right now. So, but it is a very talented group though in that secondary.
All right. Did we cover everybody?
We did, and guess what? So, we're over an hour, which means Baker can go to the OT.
No. Look, because Danny brought it up. Cocky Baker is the best Baker. I agree, Danny. I agree.
Best Baker,
all right. In fact, Baker may or may not have had some words for the Browns. Okay, he may or may not have said something. Now, I don't know the exact quote. It was Mary Kay Cabot, who was a Browns reporter.
No, it wasn't her.
Yes, no, she. This is who tweeted it out.
Okay.
This is why I saw it. I don't think I'm not sure, but she tweeted out. I'm not sure. She heard or somebody heard Baker.
I forget the reporter's name, but she was talking to Baker, and then she just went on a podcast and said it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically, it was alleged that Baker said that he was going to beat the bleep out of the Browns, right? And everybody, they're all like, oh, they're clutching their pearls. How can you say such vulgar things about another team, right? This is a respectable league. I didn't see a big deal with it. I thought it was funny. Like, it's fun. It's cocky, right? Like, it's not things that you usually say to a reporter. Like, they give you those throwaway lines, but this is exactly how they feel. And that's how you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel like we're going to crush that team, right? It might be surprising to hear a player say it because you're spoon fed this the cliche stuff, right? Book of cliches. So to hear somebody say it, on record, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you're saying how you really feel. We all know you feel that way. But did he actually say it?
Yeah, plot twist. No, he did not.
Okay.
It was an off the record conversation. Shout out to Mike. But what happened? The reporter says that she went up to him and was kind of wishing him luck and said, I hope you F up the Browns in week 1. And he kind of just agreed with it. He said, yeah, it's gonna be good or whatever. And that was it. And then it kind of got misconstrued. I didn't hear her actual on the podcast saying exactly what she said, but people took it as Baker said that as opposed to her saying it. But she came back and clarified that, and Baker did an interview saying he didn't say that. So it was really much ado about nothing. When I first heard it, I was like, Baker can't say that because he's not good enough to say that publicly. But
the only thing I don't like about this is Baker coming out and saying he didn't say it. He should have just shrugged his shoulders blank. Yeah. What are you gonna do about it, right? Like, do you remember when the Giants played the Patriots in the Super Bowl the first time? Yeah. The Patriots are undefeated, and who was it? A Plaxico or one of them? They're pressing him for a score.
Yeah.
And he gave him like a low score. He's like, we're gonna win, 20-13 or whatever, right? And Tom Brady
did 17-14.
And Tom Brady did not like that.
And that's actually what the score ended up being.
Yeah. Tom Brady, he was like, oh, okay, we're only going to score 14 points. Okay, right? And they asked Michael Strahan, right? Like did they give them some what do you call it? So
extra motivation,
board material, bulletin board material. They give him extra bulletin board material. Do you wish you didn't say that? And he's like, what are they going to do? Play harder in a Super Bowl? Like, did we make them angry now? Like, I mean, what are they going to do? That's the kind of attitude I wish Baker would have taken. Like, oh, so I guess they're really going to play hard now, huh? Right?
Well, that's what Myles Garrett said.
Yeah, okay, fine. Was Myles Garrett not going to try to knock his head off before?
But he's going to try harder.
Okay, all right. We'll try harder. Okay, you got a good O-line now.
You can always, when you're that good, you can always find that extra 1 or 2%, even though you're already over 100. It's definitely possible.
Well, I mean, Tim Tebow could find 10. He could find extra 10. Okay.
That was the power of the Lord. That wasn't Tim Tebow.
Don C said Baker's Super Bowl week 1. That's what I'm talking about. That's going to be an exciting game to watch. No Deshaun to help them out either.
Right? It's going to be real exciting right up until they kick the ball off and you're like, man, this is bad football. What else is on?
JP says one of Baker's go-to quotes talking to his receivers due to his height. I didn't see you. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're over, but look, I mean, we can make this a segment or we can just roll this into bonus time. I mean, you guys want to talk about it. Lamar Jackson. Clock is ticking. All right. Clock is ticking.
Yes, on the Ravens and on this show because it is bonus time.
All right. I had a nice little ticker ready for Lamar Jackson.
I'll put up the ticker real quick. That's cool.
I got it. All right. I beat you to it. I beat you to it.
So now they all saw it. Now it's bonus time.
Okay, now it's bonus time. Bonus time. We're going to talk Lamar Jackson, but you can throw anything in there in bonus time, and we'll talk about it for a few minutes. And then when we're done, we are going to continue this conversation. We have a lot more to discuss. We're going to discuss it on the Overtime Show. You can be a part of the Overtime Show by joining patreon.com/LBHT Show for as little as $3 a month. All right. You already know how Mikey feels about it. # no pay, no play. And I agree with Mikey. I don't want him taking the field without a new contract. And if we have to take some L's, then we got to take some L's. But this front office needs to learn. Stop playing with the franchise quarterback. All right.
Yeah, they need a wake-up call in Baltimore. I mean, from the very first episode of this show, when we were just doing the audio podcast, it's always been my thing that they were complacent and they need they need a whole organizational philosophical shift to kind of just break them out of the rut that they're in. They're just saying, hey, we're going to try to win our way. It doesn't matter if it works or not. This is the way we want to do it. We're going to keep doing it this way. Oh, well, Lamar, we don't think quarterback should make that much. So even though he's and I don't want to hear any of your Ed Reed and Ray Lewis nonsense. He's the best player you've ever had. You're still messing around and not signing him. And, it is just that kind of arrogance and complacency from the owner on down. Now, Lamar was on Twitter saying that, they didn't offer him the $250 million guarantee that had been rumored. And again, I just don't like the fact that the team is putting out putting out these leaks about what they've offered him and what he said no to. They're trying to still trying to reverse it and put it on Lamar and be like, oh man, he's just being difficult. We're offering him all this stuff and he's just saying no. And like I said, to me, it all just kind of lines up with the way they've been treating Lamar, and the conclusion is that they don't believe in him as a long-term answer at quarterback.
There's no other way to look at it, right? I want to read this from Just Allo. Just Allo says, Bisciotti has a choice. Hold the line for the billionaire owners and lose your secure or secure your QB, right? But yeah, it's not just losing your QB, it's losing the city, right? Baltimore, we talk about all the time. Baltimore is a segregated city. It's very segregated, right? And I think for a long time, like the black fan base in Baltimore gets annoyed a little bit, right? But you have a black quarterback now he's not just a black quarterback, he's a superstar.
Yeah.
He's a superstar. And he's doing all the things that we wish Michael Vick would have done, right? Michael Vick was the only other quarterback that was this polarizing when he came out, and he just didn't have the work ethic that Lamar had, right? And Lamar's he's doing everything right. He's giving you no reason to not put your trust in him, and you're just saying no. If you don't get this done, you're going to shatter this fan base, man. Like, it's already like I think what you see on social media when you see Ravens fans arguing back and forth, you see like this split. That's where it comes from, right? Because it's like y'all supported Joe Flacco even when Joe Flacco was whack, you supported him, right? And I understand bringing a Super Bowl to the city gives you a lot of leeway. I get that, but Joe Flacco was never this good.
No,
ever.
Not even close.
Not even close, right? So we want to see the same kind of treatment for our quarterback, for our black quarterback. And if you don't give it to him, the only reason is money, right? Like, there's no other reason to not give it to him. It's just you don't want to pay it to him. And if he goes somewhere else, God forbid he goes somewhere else and wins a Super Bowl, that's it. Like, you're going to have a young fan base, right? Because he's bringing in the young fans. You're going to have a young fan base in Baltimore that's just not going to be a fan of the Baltimore Ravens.
It's going to be a sea of teal.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, right? You're going to see us cover a lot more Miami Dolphins stuff on here as well, right? But no, like seriously, like that's what he has to look at. Like, you're not just losing a franchise quarterback, you're losing fans. Like, that's who's coming to the stadium filling the seats right now. Lamar Jackson fans. I was just out of training camp a couple weeks ago, and it was nothing but Lamar Jackson jerseys, in the stands watching practice, right? Yeah. They're there to see Lamar Jackson, nobody else. That's how you built the team, right? You talked about Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. I know people will argue those were our best players because they brought us Super Bowls. But Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Haloti Ngata, Terrell Suggs, right? Jimmy Smith in his prime, right? Like, I mean, you had players that are going to the Hall of Fame. Now, I mean, Jimmy Smith probably ain't going to the Hall of Fame. Ngata, maybe not, but Suggs definitely a Hall of Famer. Reed already in the Hall of Fame. Lewis already in the Hall of Fame. Like, you had some of the league's best players ever to play at those positions playing together. And what do you give Lamar? Mark Andrews? Right?
Yeah, and Mark is good, but it's not enough.
It's not enough. No. So I mean, you're not you wasted his rookie contract. That's over and done with. You did nothing with it, and now you got to pay him, and you still have to find a way to keep this team competitive and put talent around him. And shout out to Nitro. What's going on, man? Oh, we haven't seen you. Well, we've seen you around. We haven't seen you around in here, Nitro. Nitro says they are on shrooms. He is on record saying that the team was in the red, and now you finally get the QB that packs seats and wins. You want to play with his money? Ridiculous. Who said that they were in the red?
I think he's talking about Bashadi, I believe. That's not true.
That's not true. If he said that, he's absolutely lying. None of these teams are in the red. There's a reason why the Walton family paid, what was it, $6 billion or $5 billion for the Broncos. They're not paying that kind of money just because. These teams are extremely profitable.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's in the red. Anybody tells you that, they're lying.
What's up, Tanja?
What's up, Tanja? Says, hey, Jose and Brodny, the Ravens are really disrespecting Lamar right now. Agreed. All the winning Lamar has brought to the team, he will leave next season. I don't want to hear he has to stay. Yes, agree. Yeah. And shout out to T-Will. I see you in here. He says, if the deal doesn't get done, he's gone because you're not going into the next season with a QB that doesn't want to be there. They will trade him, and people better watch out for Philly and Miami. Yeah, I agree, man. I'm still hoping the deal gets done. I still feel like, I mean, like I said, it's very calm right now. Like nobody's really showing like any like like they're irritable or anything like that. And like I said before, John Harbaugh doesn't know how to control his emotions. Steve Bashai definitely doesn't know how to control his emotions. So like they're not really showing any signs. I feel like maybe there's more being talked about behind the scenes. They're a lot closer than we think.
No, there's no way he's out here liking pictures of him in Miami Dolphins uniforms if they are close to a deal.
I think he's trolling people. He's on social media. He sees what people. I mean, look, you see the people he's responding to, right? Like he's responding to people that his whole thing is, and not just him, just athletes nowadays. They don't like people acting like they know their situation, right? They hate that. So if they see something out there, they can't help but to say, hey, you don't know what's going on. You don't have any idea what's going on. And I think Lamar is just playing with people, right? Yeah, I think he's trolling a little bit. He's like, I don't know, maybe I could go to Miami.
No, I think he's trolling. I'm saying he wouldn't be doing it, period, if they were close, because you're riling up everybody. You're riling up the fans. You're riling up the media, the national media. It's a major story. Here, you're not going to want to deal with that, right? Like if you're close to signing a deal, he would just be quiet. Yeah, I would think. But I can't see a scenario where he's there. Like I said, liking pictures of him in different uniforms, liking all these tweets about being somewhere where you're wanted, being somewhere where people respect you and all this stuff. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you could say trolling or not, he's doing it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think they're anywhere near close. I think that they are continuing to lowball him, and I think he's getting annoyed.
Could be, yeah. I mean, look, all this is up for speculation because they have already the Ravens have already messed this up. Mm-hmm. I don't care what you think about Bashadi and EDC. I have been an EDC supporter up to this point, but I think he's just done a terrible job. I'm sorry, EDC, you've done a terrible job. You haven't done a good job drafting. That's obvious, right? You're just the players that Ozzie set you up with on his way out, like you're squandering it. You're gonna let Lamar Jackson walk out on your watch, man. That cannot happen.
No.
Nobody else needs to get signed before Lamar Jackson. Speaking of, I don't know if we mentioned it earlier, right? When we're talking about all these draft picks. All 15 of the guys that we cut, none of them got picked up.
We mentioned it. Yeah, they all cleared waivers. Nobody wants the players that Baltimore brings in. Because it's a combination of they're not as good at drafting as everybody keeps saying they are, and they spend a lot of picks on non-premium positions.
Yeah,
that teams just aren't really looking for.
Yeah. What's up? Agent E says Lamar isn't going anywhere, so I'm not worried. Hey man, I feel you. I feel you.
I bet
know.
Chiefs fans thought that morning they woke up and then a rumor started about Tyreek Hill, and then by lunch he was gone.
But there's no rumor about Lamar yet.
Yeah.
All right.
No. But I'm saying it can happen very quickly.
It can. Tanja says Lamar was tired of the media and Sean Payton telling lies about him wanting more than 250 mil. Sean Payton said that? Sean Payton is a liar. I don't blame Lamar for speaking up too many lies. I agree, Tanja. Sean Payton is a liar. Okay. And a liar and a dirty coach. Okay. He was part of that the Bounty Gate. Yeah. We haven't forgotten.
And he makes terrible movies.
Yeah. Did he actually speak? Did he meet with Stephen Ross? I know his name was brought up as a coach that they were trying to hire to replace
I'm
Brian
not sure
Flores.
if he actually met with him or not, but yeah, I would assume they spoke.
He probably did.
Yeah,
all right. A couple more comments. We're getting out of here. Yeah. A couple more. We're getting out of here. Black Daniel says, "I swear that and was very surprised, but then I thought about it and I was no longer surprised." Which part? Oh, you're talking about something else here. You talking about the Sean Payton stuff?
I'm not sure what he is here.
All right. In the meantime, OTR Mike says we will get 37 draft picks for Lamar, only for them not to work out.
That's not true, Mike. You'll get 6 and they'll turn them into 37.
Listen. 37 is about how many
trade back.
Listen, that's about how many draft picks EDC has had since he's taken over as GM. How many draft picks? Now, remind you, because we have to remind people, EDC did not draft Lamar. That was Ozzy's last year as GM, right? Yeah. So if you're thinking the cuts not getting picked up off of waivers, okay, yeah, I feel you like Dennis. So minus Lamar and Mark Andrews, right? Who are the guys that have really stood out to you that have been drafted after that draft class? Who were the guys that really stood out and you're like, man, so glad we got this guy. So glad he's on my team. Who's the guy? Right? The best players from his first draft was Hollywood, gone.
Mm-hmm.
Best player after that, you got Patrick Queen. I know y'all love Prochet, but you got J.K. Dobbins is probably the standout from that draft.
Yeah.
Tyree Phillips just got cut. Ben Bredesen been gone. Yeah, I mean that's that draft. That was 11 picks in that draft. The next draft is Oweh. You guys are still you like Oweh, but is he Suggs? Is he like that high level player? No, you got Bateman. We're hoping Bateman works out, and then we got this year's draft. So far, there isn't like that one player that you're just like, man, he nailed it.
Right.
Not yet. And
it has to be more than one, because hitting on one player, that's nice, but that's exactly what Marty Herney did in Carolina, and he's one of the worst GMs ever. Marty Herney didn't miss on a first round pick. Marty
Herney hit on more players than EDC has.
Yeah. And like we thought about, what has EDC done? And a lot of people give him credit for drafting Lamar and Dobbins and these guys. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, Marty Herney drafted Cam Newton and Luke Kuechly. He was still a terrible GM. Like, it has to be, it's a 53-man roster. Getting a couple picks right, it's not enough.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we're gonna wrap it up there. We have because we can keep talking about this. Yeah. We can keep talking about this, and we will talk about this some more on the Overtime Show. Okay, Patreon.com/LBHT Show. We got a lot more to discuss, but patrons, get ready. All right, give us a couple minutes. We're gonna get the show ready. Tanja says Oweh has time to get like Suggs. No, he doesn't. He's already not Suggs. To be fair, he's just started playing. Yeah, okay. Look, to be fair, technically he does it. He could have just a huge year this year. That's true, right? I just don't. I don't see it in him, right?
Yeah.
And that's not even saying he's gonna be bad, because Suggs is great, obviously, right? I think Owe could be a good edge rusher, just not great. I don't, like Judon was a good edge rusher. I don't think we should have got rid of Judon. Is he going to have a better career than Judon? I don't think so.
No.
Maybe around the same, and that's really good. Judon's a really good player. Suggs, no. I don't. I like it. It's very few people that come out as a rookie, and I'm just like, they're going to be great. And none of them play for the Ravens.
And there was one in that class. He just didn't get picked by Baltimore. His name's Micah Parsons.
Oh my God.
Dominated at his secondary position.
Man, I thought you were going to say Jamar Chase.
Yeah, Jamar Chase too. But we were talking specifically on
defense. Those are the type
of moves.
But those are the type of moves that I'm talking about, right? If you want to be a run first team and heavy defense, be aggressive and get the guys that are going to make a difference. If you have to trade up, then trade up, right?
Yeah.
Stop trading down trying to get a bargain. You can get bargains, you get worse players. Trade up and get the true talent.
Because again, like everybody loves having all these picks. They cut all of them. What does it matter? Would you rather have all of those offensive linemen that he's drafted that haven't worked out, or one wide receiver like Jamar Chase, or one edge rusher like Micah Parsons?
If we had Jamar Chase and Micah Parsons, you wouldn't care about anything else, right? Like you wouldn't care. Like you got to have those difference makers on the team. None of these other guys are working out, right? We're thinking strength in numbers. Nah, they're coming in and they're leaving. Dalen Hayes didn't even stay long. I thought he was going to get a longer chance. Oh, okay. Got another donation. Shout out to Anonymous for the $30 tip. Says, thank you for a most excellent show, brother man. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody that's donated tonight. We really appreciate the donations. Thank you to everybody that's been buying those shirts, man. You guys love the Raven City shirt. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look down on your screen below this. And yeah, they're there. They're nice. They're really nice. So yeah, keep supporting. We got some changes coming up here real soon. We hope that you like them. Nitro says likely is going to be his best pick.
His best pick going to be a backup tight end, Nitro. That's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I don't like to be the negative fan here, right? But there's some things that are very worrying. Not having Lamar signed right now is worrying and just flat out disrespectful. Yeah. It's just disrespectful all around. He's the only reason that we're even close to being competitive.
Yeah.
Nitro says, "Yep, likely's going to be yeah."
And I don't want people to take that the wrong way. I think likely's going to be good. Just it's just funny.
Yeah, just not better than Andrews. Just Al says, I hate it when they trade down. I didn't like it when Ozzy did it. I agree. Ozzy wasn't perfect by any means.
So much.
Yeah. And we'll end with this. T. Will Wilt says Ojabo over Pickens, EDC trash. Hey.
See, Tanja, I just said I don't want you to take it this way because I think he's going to be good.
All right, we're going to keep this going on the overtime show. One more time, patreon.com/LBHT Show if you want to sign up and hang out with us some more. If not, thank you for hanging out with us. Y'all have a great night. Have a great weekend. Football season next week. All right, it's going to be an exciting show. All right. EDC's best pick is Jordan Stout. That's what Blunts and Otter says. All right, we're out here. B, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Y'all be safe. Have a good night, and we will see you next time. Peace out.